first of all, I'd say I'm really proud of my process. It's not been an easy one. It's full of pain and tears and frustrations, but it's really gotten me where I am today. I am in real estate construction, and I run this company, Betty King Constructs, where we manage properties. At the same time, we do constructions. And this started, it started, I did not even know. Remember when we started, I said, I wanted to be an architect when I was a small girl.
Yeah.
I
remember.
But I did not know that it's something in me.
Welcome once again to Inner Dialogue. This is yet another wonderful episode. My name is Charis.
And I'm Betty King.
So good to have you guys. We are here once again to continue with those deep conversations. And I remember last time we left it at a place where we were talking about process. And Betty said something very interesting, that the process we were talking about is necessary. The process you went through, the experiences, the process was necessary.
Yes, the experience was necessary because in that I would not have gotten where I am if I had not gone through that process. For me, I celebrate my process.
Wow.
Because it is what has resulted for me becoming what I am today. It has brought this result today. So the process is very essential. Everybody has a different process.
Very true.
Someone else's could be shorter, someone else's is longer. And you know, it becomes long when you refuse to learn the first time. For instance, in my case, I got married thrice because I did not pick the lessons quick enough to not repeat the same mistake. So the process could be shorter if you pick the lesson quickly and you move on to the next level.
Awesome. But I think nothing good really comes easy. I had a very interesting, is it a quote? Someone said that it takes 10 years to make a good overnight success. You know, it takes at least 10 years to make good overnight success.
Good overnight.
Tuko kwa hii generation ya instant. Instant coffee.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification. And people want, you see someone, you like the way they are living, you like what they have, and you want it now.
You want to be like them.
You want to be like them. And we rarely take the time to look at this person. But I've heard from business people, I've heard from even family people. Like they say, even in marriage, they say, like, before you hit the 10-year mark, relax. You haven't learned anything yet. You see, there is nothing good that comes easy. Whenever you look at someone and you see, wow, I love this person. Maybe we'll share about some of the people we love. But whenever you look at such people, you should look for the story behind the person you're seeing.
Exactly. Because there's always a story behind a successful person. I want to talk about someone called Lisa Nichols. She's an impact speaker. I like the way she's an impact speaker, and I really love following her and listening to her. And when she was starting off, she started off at a very low point, and she had issues. She had her story with she suffered a lot with even getting into wrong relationships where she was being beaten. She ended up being in relationships with people who ended up in jail. And you know, she had a very tough beginning. And then she went on to say that when she started, people thought, hey, this is the new Oprah. This is the new Oprah. But then she said, I cannot be Oprah. I am me. If you expect me to give you an Oprah, like I'd say today, if you expect me to give you a Lisa Nichols, then I'll fail at that. Because I am not Lisa Nichols, I am not Oprah. But I'll give you a damn good Betty King. Yeah, because I have gone through my own process.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's Bishop T.D. Jakes that says, no one can beat you at being you.
Yes.
Why he says this way? Why would you kutosheleka inaitwaje na kizungu?
Get content.
Yeah, why would you be content at being second class?
Somebody of someone else.
Why would you be content at being a fake when you can be the best original
that you can be?
No one can beat Lisa Nichols. Doesn't matter what she does. She can never be as good. She can never be a Betty King that is as good.
That is exactly. So everyone has their own lane. Everyone has their own gifts, talents, and you have been given perseverance for whatever you will go through. It is not whatever Charis went through. Probably I would not have had the courage to go through what you went through, because I've been given my own grace to go through what I'm going through. So we have special giftings in us that will carry us through that process.
Amazing. I think one of the people that really impresses me, I love soccer. I won't say the team I used to support before, because I know they will attack me, but I left them. I left them. Now, when I say this, they'll know which team that was. I left them when they messed up with my icon. You know, and there's this guy who really inspires me, plays soccer. This guy, CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo. So, so you know the team that I no longer support. I'm now a Liverpool fan.
I don't know, thank God.
I'm now a Liverpool fan, unapologetically. But Cristiano Ronaldo, man, when you look at his life, you know, he was raised by, I think his mom was a cleaner. Then the father was actually alcoholic and was working with a manufacturing company there. But then on his off days, I'm a part-time, he was a kit guy for a young club. You know, the guy who helps to carry the kits that the children wear and all. And that is how Cristiano Ronaldo was introduced to football. Right now, you know, if you go and see his accolades, if you go and see his records, highest goal scorer for UEFA, 5, I believe he has 5 Ballon d'Ors. Those are the highest accolades, you know, for a footballer. Every year there's someone who's given a Ballon d'Or. That means I think it's French for what?
I have no idea. I just heard that word right here.
Yeah, but it's the highest accolade for that a player is given in a year. I think he has 5 of those.
Okay.
He's been in 5 different leagues, I believe. Portuguese, English Premier League, Spanish Premier League, Italian. Now he's in the Arab League. Top scorer in almost all of them. He's now at 39 years, but still one of the fittest, one of the best performing footballers, performing better than some 28-year-olds. You know, when you look at him now, you'd want to be Cristiano Ronaldo. But look at the process. Look at what it has taken for him to be the person he is.
How many years he has gone into this, done it. Maybe at some point he was even failing, he was discouraged. But he kept doing it. I remember one of our speakers in Kenya, his name is Jacob. Dr. Jacob Kinyanjui. And he said in one of the talks that he was having, he said, we are used to, when you start cutting, we are used to starting this, you quit. You go to something else, you quit. You go to another thing, you quit. And you never really get through the process of doing something and accomplishing it. So it's like cutting a tree. You're given an axe, and this is a whole tree that has grown for years. And you're told to cut it. And you cut the first time, you cut like 3 times, you get tired.
You go
to another tree. You think you're looking for an easier tree. You go start again, you get tired. You go to the next tree. By the time you're getting tired, your energy is gone, no tree has fell.
Yeah.
And if you had combined that energy
And
in one particular
focused on one tree,
yes, you'd have cut that tree.
Amazing.
He said, today you'll find yourself selling gas.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you're selling peanuts.
Yeah.
The other day you're running a barber shop. The other day, so you'll never be good at your craft.
Yeah.
You'll never go through that process that is required for you to get to your limit. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like, you know, actually, one of the things I read in the story of Cristiano Ronaldo is that at some point he had problems in school with his grades, and they actually agreed for him to drop out at that point and focus on the football.
Wow.
He had to stop cutting that tree for academics and focus on this one tree that looked like it was giving in to him. Yeah. And you know, like thinking through his story, recently I was listening to a discussion where he was talking about his son, and his son had, I think, been, he had issues in school, telling young people, the son had, I think he had fought, or he had issues with some seniors in his school, and so Cristiano is called by the principal and he's told, and so he was saying, he asked his son, how could you do this? I'm hearing from your school that there are problems. And the son tried to explain that these guys were, they were trying to, you know, bring you down. They were saying that you're not as good as Messi. You are not this, you're not that.
He was fighting for the father.
He was fighting for the father. And I loved what he said to his son. He told him, have I not taught you our values? Have I not shown you why you should never, like, consider what other people say about you?
Wow.
Your work is to build your craft. Make yourself so good, you know, that they do not have to talk, or whether or not they talk, it doesn't make a difference.
Forget about the noises.
Yeah. Cristiano, whether or not you talk, when he gets into the field, he is the GOAT. I know I might get into an argument with some Messi fans here, but the guy, and I love it, he says, I love what he says. He says, he was asked, what is the secret to your greatest success?
Yeah.
And he says he realized early enough that talent without work is zero. It can take you nowhere.
What's that?
Yes.
And that is key, yeah?
Yeah.
He realized early enough.
Early enough.
Realizing early enough.
Yes.
Because we are here to speak to the coming generations. Yeah, it's good to realize your giftings, your area of gifting early enough so that you focus on that.
And start polishing.
Yeah, start polishing it. Yeah. Please
awesome. Awesome, yeah. So, like, I loved it that he said he knew he had talent. You know, we talked about here the 5 points that you take, or that you take note of to help you discover your purpose.
Yeah.
And we said we look at your passions, look at your natural abilities. Those are the talents.
Yeah.
So it's very good to have talent. Talent shows you this is what I can do with much ease. But talent, if you leave it at that, cannot take you anywhere.
That is it.
You have to start polishing it. That is why people go back to school. You know, you are a very good artist naturally, but now you go to art school
to improve
and you
on
are told this pencil works better than this.
Yeah.
When you want to shade like this, use this pencil. When you want to create such, you know, an illusion, use this pencil, use this paint.
True.
Okay, so I love it that Cristiano Ronaldo, despite his talent, despite what he, you know, he has grown in football.
Yeah.
He's still one of the most disciplined soccer players. They say he's usually first on the pitch, last to leave.
Wow.
Then he also has, you know, practice grounds at his home. You know, and he's still the best. You'd think because he's the best, he would arrive and you'd.
No.
Yeah. So a young footballer would look at him and say, I want what he has. But are you ready to do what he does?
To go through the process.
Yes. Are you ready to go through the process? You know, are you ready to leave home? I think he left home, you know, his parents, and had to go to a different city far away. I think at 14 years.
Oh.
I think, yeah, he was so young, and he says how he was homesick. He was scared for the first time, staying for months without seeing his mom.
Without seeing his parents.
Yes. Are you ready for that process? You know, do you
It's
have
a
another
lot.
person that that really impresses you?
I would even talk about our own Dr. Miles Monroe. I call him our own because he's our mentor. Yeah, and the process he went through, because I remember him saying when he was in school, the teachers used to call him a monkey.
Oh my.
Yeah, and they told him that he will never learn anything, and because monkeys don't learn.
Yeah.
And you know, that really hit him hard.
And he decided.
He made a choice. He would have decided to give up.
Yeah.
You know, he would have chosen, let me go and be a rapper, or let me go and do something else that black people do. Let me go and try something else. But he didn't. In fact, he decided that he's going to learn the most and be the best at what he did. And you can see the results of what his process took him through, until he became a renowned leader in the world who could advise white presidents. He was being called a monkey, but he ended up being the advisor of governments. Very many governments.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing. I also at times I also think of my dad. My dad is a pastor now, and a man, at least that one I've watched his process firsthand. I watched him. He was naturally a good man. Okay, good, quote unquote. I'm not saying like people who do certain things are bad, but he was a man who was there for us when we were young. You know, we grew up loved and cared for, but he tried business. You know, he went into business. He started as an accountant, then went into business. Business failed. Then at some point he came to church, and he has always been this man who is called for when people are going for dowry. He's always this man who's called when people have issues.
To take people, leave them there.
Yes, and he comes to counsel people way before he really thought or knew he had a calling. But all these things, I've seen it as a process to a place where I think at a very great age, I think he went back to school to study theology.
Wow.
I think he was past 50.
Wow.
But that is when he had discovered, this is my calling. I love this. And as we talk, I think he's doing his PhD now.
Wow.
I think as we talk next year, he's going to 70 now. Next year he'll be graduating. He'll be doctor.
Wow.
He'll be doctor.
That's nice.
Yeah, in his theology. And I've just loved the process.
Because the vision became clearer as he moved.
Exactly. Exactly. And he agreed to embrace the process.
Yes.
And he has not arrived. Not everything is perfect in his life. But I can see now what he does, and I can see his impact and the way he's touching other lives. And I can tell like he has submitted to process.
Fully to process.
Yeah. You know, as we began, I remember our episode 1, we shared that we are at a certain place. But it has not always been like this. I remember saying, I'm at a place where I am happy. You know, I have not arrived. You know, and maybe before we finish this, we maybe we'll share a bit of what we look at in the future. But I am at a place where I'm what would I say? Content. I'm not satisfied. I want more. But I am content. I like the way they say. They say I am not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. I'm in a better place. You know, and I said I'm living my dream life right now. And what I mean by dream life is not that I'm driving my G-Wagon. G-Wagon is my dream car, by the way. Yeah. It's not that I'm driving the G-Wagon yet. It's just that I wake up Monday happy. I wake up happy to do what I'm supposed to do Monday. I am as happy on Monday morning as I am on Friday evening. You see, have you ever seen memes za Friday? Guys, there are such, I love Friday memes. I'm one of those people who love Friday. But there is an excitement people have on Friday because hatuendi kazi sasa.
Actually, most happy hours are on Fridays.
Sherehe inaanza. So I'm at a place in life where I am just excited on Monday morning. Like now I'm looking forward to some things I'm supposed to do on Monday morning. Just as I would be on Friday evening, looking forward to Shere and meeting up with friends.
Yeah.
So and that is what I call, to me, living a full life, a place where you're happy with what you're doing, you're excited about what you do in your everyday. But I remember saying, this is not where we began. It has not always been like this. And I believe this episode, this show is about reminding people about process. Just accept the process. Just accept to go through what you're meant to go through so that you become who you're meant to be. Yeah. So today, I think we share the process. Tell us first, begin by telling us now clearly what you do currently. What is it that you do? And maybe we can start, you will take us back and tell us how you got where you are now.
Yeah. I think, first of all, I'd say I'm really proud of my process. It's not been an easy one. It's full of pain and tears and frustrations, but it's really gotten me where I am today. I am in real estate construction, and I run this company, Betty King Constructs, where we manage properties. At the same time, we do constructions. And this started, I did not even know. Remember when we started, I said I wanted to be an architect when I was a small girl.
Yeah.
I remember. But I did not know that it's something in me. It was just a dream, those things you say, I would like to be an architect when I grow up. And then it died somewhere along the way. And then I used to do a lot of drama and poetry in school. So I used to be this talkative girl who would win every other time I go for poetry. I come out with a certificate. I go to the district level. I go to the national level, like that, until I come up with all the certificates. So when I cleared high school, I went and worked with... after my first marriage broke, I remember my best job, my first best job was working under Safaricom.
Wow.
And honestly, that company brought the best in me. Because now I was able to see the abilities in me. I was able to point out that, hey, I think I can do this well, I can do this best. And I started off as a salesperson, but going deeper, I now started discovering, you can be a salesperson selling clothes, and be a salesperson selling houses, and another one is selling cars. So now I started seeing where my points are, because I loved houses. I loved, and a friend of mine once told me,
you
why do you
seeing
like
this while doing sales at Safaricom?
Yes, when I'm doing sales in Safaricom, because I was shifting houses a lot. The way I used to live, I move into this house, then a new house is built in the neighborhood, and I am the first one to move in. And I didn't know it's because of my love for designs and houses and new designs. I didn't know, honestly. I remember when I was in Nakuru, I shifted houses. In a year, I could move to 2 or 3 houses. In a year.
What?
Those are deposits and all that. And I didn't find the hassle hard. I kept shifting until one day someone told me, hey, you have a problem with staying in one place. And I'm like, I love to see a new design. But honestly, I did not know it's because I love real estate.
Wow.
I did not know. So I kept shifting homes. Until the day when I found myself doing sales for a real estate company for new constructions, off plan. And my God, I fell in love with it. And that's how I even got myself into working with Site on Real Estate, which they were doing a very splendid job. What is off plan? Off plan is when it's basically a plan, a house plan. So you sell the house through the plan. The structure is not yet built.
Oh, wow.
So you come, I show you.
We've learned something.
Yeah. Most of the time, they have a showroom, so they build a showroom. If they're planning to build a whole apartment, they will just complete the showroom alone and furnish it. And then when you come, you'll find a plan of
so
the
this
entire
is what we
building.
intend to do,
Yes, this is what we intend to do. Now you will pick your unit.
Where even before it is built?
Yes, before it is built. Your unit will be on the 10th floor. So you start paying for it before it's even built. So that is off plan. So that is how I got to learn that I'm in love with this thing. And I started selling these houses, but I wasn't really, funny enough, I was a salesperson, but I never sold a house.
Okay.
Especially in the last, I remember the last company that I was selling houses, I struggled to sell.
Okay.
And yet I loved the art.
Yes.
Of building and construction.
Yes.
But I saw it to be huge, huger than I was.
Yeah.
Because mostly construction is dominated with the male.
Okay.
Yeah. So the ladies, we are now coming up.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. So as I went on, I moved on from, I remember I moved on from Safaricom to a different company. I told you earlier, my CV is very decorated. It has so many. And this is part of the process of finding me. It is part, the movement from one company to the other was a process of finding what is my niche. What is this thing that I like doing and I am not getting the satisfaction here? Yeah.
So you go to a place, you realize, okay, I may be getting the money, I may be enjoying this space, but I'm still not satisfied.
Something is not really there. In fact, the place I would have loved to stay at for longer was at Saiton. Yeah, if COVID had not struck, because COVID is what really destabilized most of the things in Saiton, and some of the offices were shut, and we had to move on and find something else. But now the vision that they have is a very good vision, which I identify with.
Yes.
Even now as Betty King. Yeah, I identify with that in that now I see myself.
Yeah.
I see my journey going forward. That this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is my, in terms of entrepreneurship, this is the line I want to take on, and it's huge, but I'm ready for the next process, because the process never ends. It's not that it ended because I found out that this is what I want to do.
Yes.
Yeah. It's now starting. We are now moving into the next level.
Yes.
We are now things are truly happening in reality. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. I love it, and I'll be going deeper into your story, and just seeing like what led to the other to get you where you are. But I think as I begin, personally I was trained in accounts. I think I said last time that when I left school, I looked for what was how are we calling it? The cheapest, most marketable course. Ile course yenye unajua ukifanya hutakosa kitu. And then
that was accounts for you.
That was accounts for me, because like you were told, ukifanya accounts. Once you're an accountant, I mean, there are businesses everywhere. Accountants are needed in hospitals,
very clever
in
people.
Schools. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I did. But I remember it was a struggle from the beginning. You know, the first 2 semesters were good, but I struggled to complete. And you know, I tell these people, I tell this to people, and they get shocked. I got to section 6, and I think I failed one exam. In your accounts, you have 3 units. Our time, I don't know if things have changed. We had 3 units per section. You fail if you fail one unit, you repeat the 3. But if there is a way they used to put it, like there was a grade they used to give you. If you don't really fail, you repeat that particular one. Is it pass? I don't know. No, there is a way they used to put it. I've forgotten.
Fail.
If they write for you fail, you repeat the entire section. So I remember I got to section 6 and they actually failed. Getting there was a struggle. Then I get there and they gave me a fail in 1 unit. I said I'm not going back. Imagine kama umetembea, ulikuwa unaenda Nairobi. Umetembea kutoka Nakuru unafika Limuru unasema hata nimewacha.
Sasa ni kurudi Nakuru ama
ni kurudi. Imagine. So but from there I remember I started getting my jobs as had been promised. And I remember my first job, I was employed to be an accountant for a scrap metal dealer. I think I was being paid a whooping 5,000 shillings. Yeah, and I remember working at this place. I used to wonder, what am I doing here, man? I used to enjoy more hanging out there with the guys who are like weighing our scrap metal, and I used to enjoy hanging out with them, talking with them, you know, talking about life than staying in the office and reporting, you know. I used to love it more because at times I would be sent with the truck. Once our truck has been filled with scrap metal, it would go to a weighing bridge. So I would enjoy more when I'm sent, go with the truck to the weighing bridge. So that, because then we'd go chatting with the driver and all that. That didn't last long. I think after that, I got a job. I moved up the ladder and was employed in a hardware store.
Wow.
Still accounting. A whooping 8,000. Nimeanza kuwa bona.
You're growing.
So, yeah, so I moved to another, still accounts. Still I used to wonder, what am I doing in this office, man? The first time I was excited about accounts is when I got a job at a college in Nyahururu to teach accounts, not to do accounts.
To teach. Oh. And
I remember, even when I went to teach, I wasn't teaching the hesabu part. I think I mentioned this earlier. Mathematics has always been a struggle. So there are things that when you're doing accounts, the real accountants, they struggle with law. There's a unit for law or company law. And there's another unit called, we used to call it MIS, Management Information Systems. I don't know if those are still the units right now.
They're still there because I'm in school, by the way. So I also do accounting law. Good.
But now in accounting as the professional course.
Yeah.
So those theoretical things, those are the real accountants. They hate those theories. Those are the ones I loved.
Wow.
And that's what I went to teach. So that's the one time. I think I taught, for about a year. I think, that is the one time I enjoyed accounts because I was teaching. And the main thing is because I had the opportunity to interact with students. You know, I loved teaching. I loved expressing myself. And I loved it because law was very interactive.
Yeah.
Students, there were so many questions, and law would bring us to the issues of real life. When we are discussing the law of torts, we are discussing trespass. And
so this is how you got to know that it's not really about this accounting. It's about there's something else.
This is the first time I realized I'm not the person to sit in the office and do mathematics. I love spending time with people. So I think it is while I was teaching accounts that I was now called. I remember then my church didn't have an accountant. Okay, so I was requested, hey, you guys, we need someone who can do professional accounts for us. That is how I moved now from teaching accounts to doing accounts, but in a church setup. While my job description was ensuring that church books are kept well and all that, there was also where I was serving. When you're serving in church, when you're working in church, you are also being raised as a minister.
Yeah.
So I started enjoying that part of being a minister, of working with people, ministering to people, counseling. You know, when you're being raised as a church minister now, at times people who may not really want to see the main pastor, they'll come to you, hey, we need this and this. Would you help us sort this? And I really enjoyed those moments. I was not doing it as an expert, but I was doing it as this person who spends time in the house of God, prays, because the wonderful thing about it when I was working in church is that we had set time to pray. We had set time to study. So as much as you are the accountant, you must be there for prayer. You must be there for study. So you really grow as a person. And so even when someone comes to you, you have something to share. And that's when I started realizing, I love this. I love this. It started dawning on me. I love being with people. I love talking to people. I love changing lives. I think that is where my real journey with purpose began. That is when I started thinking, there is something about fulfillment that is more important than money, than status. Yes, there is something about doing what you're supposed to do. That is when I started thinking about, I am assigned for this. Can you remember when you came to that realization for yourself?
You see, now that you are talking about it, I realized in every place that I worked in, I enjoyed being involved in decision making. I enjoyed where I am able to bring a solution to the table. I enjoyed where I am able to plan in an organization. I didn't want to be those who sit back and wait for decisions to be made, solutions to be provided, and then you're told, now go this direction. No, I wanted to be a part of the people who make the decisions. I wanted to be a part of the people who plan and who execute.
This planning thing was always there.
It was always there. And my love for the boardroom. I don't know. My love for the boardroom. So this is when I realized, because now when I get into meetings, I would come up with a lot of solutions. I would come up with a lot of we call it strategic thinking. And this, most of the time, it got me in trouble. Yes, it got me in trouble because now being a leader that I am right now, I see where I was heading. And I was clashing with the leaders then.
The leaders then.
Yes. I was clashing with the leaders.
You are talking more than them.
Yes, I was giving too much.
You know, this reminds me about two things we talked about when we were saying about indicators of purpose. I can hear passion and I can hear things that you are doing naturally. You are passionate about the boardroom. You're passionate about planning. You can't even explain it. I just want to be on the planning table. You get? You're just passionate about seeing things, you know, being involved when things are being begun. You know, and then you go in there and you're giving these solutions, you're giving these ideas that are probably embarrassing the people that
someone else. Exactly.
They're embarrassing your leaders.
And then I expect them to be put into practice. And because you know, people sometimes they don't like
this idea came from this small
so
one.
and so we will not do this like this. So that's when I discovered, and then even the people I worked with, the clients, they saw something in me that sometimes a client, instead of coming directly to my employer to ask for assistance in a certain matter, a client would call me directly and delegate something out of what we normally do. Let's say we normally manage properties. But a client would want to hear my perspective on something else he's constructing. Why? Because he has probably picked something that probably I didn't even know. So I ended up becoming a consultant for so many people
while you're still
I'm
working.
still working in somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm consulting for so many people. This other developer wants to do this, there's another developer who wants to do this, and they're constantly asking me, and I research on their behalf. I find myself researching and going through and making sure I give them the right thing, you know, I give them the right figures, and this is how I realized, hey, I think this is my this is my baby. I'm supposed to grow this baby and take the baby to the next level.
So let me just find out, baby, at what point did you realize I can do this by myself?
Let me say, I will start by saying when a woman is expecting a baby, it's a 9-month journey. And at the end of the 9 months, there's another process that begins of birth, of labor pain. And the pain is at its most, at its highest, when the baby is just about to come out. Yes.
True story.
So now
process.
Exactly. So my baby was about to come out, and there was so much pain in the industry where I was. There was so much frustration, and I think that was the push of the baby being brought forth. Yes, that was the push, because honestly I was pushed out by circumstances of where I was working, and there were things going on there that were not right, that were not favoring us as the employees, and at that point is when I decided, if I've been doing this on my own, some things I handle for the clients, even my employer is not aware that I did that. And probably if he finds out, he would not be so happy, because I have gone out of my jurisdiction. I have gone out of my job description. Yes, I am now consulting. And I decided, why take all these frustrations? Why can't I just bounce out and just begin? And that's how I registered my first company.
Wow. Interesting.
In real estate, that is.
Wow. You know, as you mentioned, like, you used that analogy of an expectant lady. You know, if this baby, it just goes again to emphasize on this point of process and letting the process go through. If you would say, this baby, my tummy is big enough, this baby looks like they are good, but we are at 5 months and there are no pains. No, the tummy is big, let's remove.
I am not looking good.
I'm not, it would probably be premature, and the baby would not survive. You see.
There was connections all along. There was connections all along in the places that I worked with. Every place I went, I found myself meeting someone who led me to the next person. Who led me to the next person of the next project that I'll be handling, or the next job that I'll be doing. And I realized that all this was my growth, my journey of growth. Because I needed to go through these companies. Even though there were frustrations and all that, I needed to go through these companies in order to gain the experience. And everywhere where I went and gained an experience, I had a network. It could be one person. One person that I impacted that was left wondering. Then I move on to the next company, and I meet this other person. And there was a connection after connection. This first person leads me to a third person. And then this second person leads me to a fourth person. And the chain grew.